Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. I am your host, Ramon Preston, and every Monday through Friday, right here, live, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, we share information with you that we know can help you get to your next business and or financial next level. And so I'm super excited today because we're going to be talking about the first target in your business. So if you have an idea for a business, if you have a business that you're already operating, if you got a side hustle, maybe you just work on a job, you might just have a fixed income and you're trying to figure out what should be my first target. Please understand that what I'm sharing with you today is information that I have implemented and executed in my own life, so I know it works. So please, before we get started, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know Prophet Ramon, the squad. We are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. Today is Thursday, March the 3rd. We are live right here, Thursday, March the 3rd, 2022. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. We're already in the third month of this year, and I've seen some extraordinary things happen so far this year with my team within our company, and I'm hoping and praying that you are seeing the same extraordinary things happening in your life. So please hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know we are live today on the Ramon Preston Show, and tell them Prophet Ramon about to spit some game on the first target we need to have in our business. Jay-Z said, I'm a businessman. Guess what? You are a business. Even if you don't have a legitimate business, you're still a business. Even if you don't think you want to run a business, you're a business. Even if you don't want to own a business, you still a business. You as a human being are a business. And so we're going to talk about your first target in business. But please make sure that you hit the like button, share, tag somebody. You might need to text somebody and let them know that we're live. Before I get started, I want to say thank you to all of you who continue to support the Ramon Preston Show. As you may know, the last few days we've been kind of in and out, just coming back from a trip in South Florida we took last week, which was absolutely extraordinary. We spent 4 days last week in South Florida, last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And all 4 days were packed with my team and I making an impact in the lives of people in the marketplace and in the ministry. And we're still getting testimonies and we're seeing results of the impact that we have made. So I don't want to get into all the details of it, but just know that we were able to touch a lot of people, connect with a lot of people, build some new relationships, rekindle some old relationships. And ever since we've been back, you know, we've been all gas and no brakes. So I want to say thank you to all of you that continue to support the Ramon Preston Show. If you are a member of our tribe, if you are a member of our Millionaire Blueprint program, if you are a member of my mentorship program, my coaching program, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for trusting me and my team to make an impartation into you. Thank you for trusting me to educate you and to inspire you and to impact your life from a spiritual, from a social, and from an economic perspective. I don't take it lightly. I certainly appreciate the opportunity to share with you what I share with you. And even on this show that we host Monday through Friday, I give you information that I know I'm living myself. If I'm not living it or if I'm not learning it to live it, I'm not going to share it. So everything that I give you, it's a direct reflection of me. It's an extension of my life. And I implement everything that I live and teach into the programs that I provide. So whether it's a coaching program, whether it's an online training program, everything that I give to my people, these are things that I personally live by. I also want to give a shout out and a congratulations to our new licensees. Just in case you don't know, we have just recently, coming into 2022, we launched a licensing program And with this licensing program, we're not only authorizing our licensees to use all of our curriculum, all of our material, all of our programs and products. They can they can repurpose it. They could copy it and paste it, because we want to raise up as many consultants, as many coaches, as many trainers, as many speakers as possible. I truly believe, now this ain't a part of my lesson today, but I want you to hear this from a prophetic perspective. I truly believe that where we are in history, where we are culturally, where we are just in terms of the economics of the world, I truly believe that God is raising up people, maybe someone like you, to really position yourselves in the marketplace as experts, consultants, coaches, and trainers. Now, of course, if you just start Googling coaches, everybody and their auntie a coach. Everybody and their uncle a coach. We got a lot of coaches. We got a lot of trainers. We got a lot of motivational speakers. We got a lot of people who provide online training and courses and workshops and masterminds and all types of things. But it doesn't necessarily mean it ain't room for you. There is room for you, especially if you know what you're doing. So if you have a desire to be a coach, if you desire to be a consultant or a trainer or all the above, and you just don't have the right training, you don't have the right systems and processes, and you want to learn how to do it on an expert level, then I want you to reach out to me at the end of this show, because I want to introduce you to our licensing program. One of the biggest benefits of our licensing program is we are adding to our licensing program free certification training. So not only are we licensing you, but we are certifying you to be a business consultant and coach. So my organization, Ramon Preston University, we are authorized to certify you as a coach, as a consultant, as a trainer, and we're training you how to do it. So as a licensee, not only are you able to repurpose and or resell our products and services, like I have a lot of digital products that I sell that you can literally resell as a licensee, and you don't even have to create your own products. You could just sell our products, and all you're doing is just introducing what you are using to the marketplace, and you can monetize that and make a lot of money doing it. I truly believe every one of our licensees, as long as they follow my blueprint, they will at the very least make 6 figures just from selling our digital products, hands down. They can do that in their sleep. I've already done the math, and the licensees that I've already brought in and I'm talking to and working with, they've done the math. So it's an easy breezy situation, okay? So just keep that in mind while I'm going throughout the course of today's show, that if you are a coach or you want to be a coach, but you want to learn how to do it better, you want to understand the business and the financial aspects of it, and you want to get the right systems and processes in place to really succeed in it, we have a program for you. Also, just this past week, we launched our Millionaire Blueprint Groups. This is a new program that we're introducing. We're calling it our Millionaire Blueprint Groups. And these are groups that we are using to help churches, pastors, nonprofit organizations, community organizations. We're helping these types of groups to introduce financial literacy and entrepreneurship to their congregations and to their community. So if you're a pastor, if you are a church leader, if you are a minister, if you own a nonprofit, if you have a community-based organization, and you know you want to introduce world-class training and education for financial literacy and entrepreneurship to your members, to your tribe, to your community, I want you to reach out to me today as well, because these Millionaire Blueprint groups are going to be some extraordinary groups that we're going to incorporate in churches with nonprofit and community-based groups to really help their people get educated, get trained on entrepreneurship, business ownership, financial literacy, investing, family wealth building. This is information. I was just having a sit down this morning talking to a few people and explaining to them, this is information that our community needs. Our churches need it, our families need it, and our communities need it. What do you mean? They need education on financial literacy. They need education on entrepreneurship. They need to know what it means and how it works and what they can do to incorporate it in their lives. So our Millionaire Blueprint groups are going to provide that. Guess what? If you are a part of our Millionaire Blueprint groups, we're giving free access to our Millionaire Blueprint to all of our group leaders. So if you're a pastor, or you're the leader, or you're the designated group leader for our Millionaire Blueprint groups, you get free access for the entire year, because this is a one-year program. You get access free to the Millionaire Blueprint. But then all of your congregation members or group members, they're getting at least a 50% discount. So our Millionaire Blueprint is literally being discounted in half just to provide this opportunity to our Millionaire Blueprint groups. And not only are we giving your members a 50% off discount, but we're also going to provide a 10% kickback. So basically, whatever business we do through our Millionaire Blueprint groups with your congregation or with your nonprofit or community-based organization, you're going to get a kickback of 10% from that, because we want to be a blessing to you, and we want that reconciliation to take place between the ministry and the marketplace, because we have a lot of churches, a lot of community groups, we have a lot of nonprofit organizations who are doing some great things in the community from a spiritual perspective and from a social perspective, but they may not be able to make that same kind of impact from an economic perspective. But if you are now able to introduce or even facilitate this type of education and training, you're bridging the gap. So as a pastor, you don't have to be the financial expert. You don't have to be the entrepreneurship guru, but you can facilitate it by partnering with us and giving your church, your ministry, your nonprofit, your group an opportunity to be educated and to receive a kickback, so that financially you can create a new stream of income for yourselves, and it's biblical based. I'm a man of God, so even though I might look a little ghetto today because this is a down day for me, because I got a lot of work that I'm doing that really doesn't require me to dress up this week, but I'm a man of God, I'm a prophet, I'm a minister. I understand ministry, church, I understand marketplace, business, and I understand how important it is for us to merge those worlds together. So please, if you're interested in any of that, be sure to stick around until we get to the end of today's show, and I'm going to give you a number that you can literally text today, and we can have a conversation about licensing. We can have a conversation about your coaching and consulting training if you want to be certified. We can have a conversation about you becoming a part of our Millionaire Blueprint groups. They're going to be amazing. I guarantee you the day is going to come. Every city you go into, there's going to be some Blueprint Millionaire groups. I guarantee you. And there are probably going to be some licensees in that area that we're partnering with, working with to help inspire, to help educate, to help impact our tribes, our communities, and our world. So today I want to talk about the first target for your business. What is the first target for your business? So let's just assume you are ready to get into business. Let's assume you already got your LLC. Let's assume you work on a job and you like, you know what? I need to take my life to the next level. All right. So we want to know what our first target in business should be. I wonder if any of you know what your first target. I'm going to give you one word to help identify what your first target in business should be. I don't know if you know the word. You might know the word. You might use a different word, but I have one word to describe what your first target in business should be. So again, even if you don't have a LLC, even if you don't have a nonprofit organization, even if you don't have no company structured correctly, you might just be working on a job. You might be be on a fixed income, but you're just at a point to where you know, I want to get the bag. I want to get out of debt. I want to get my finances right. I want to come up. I want to do better. I need to put myself in another situation other than what I'm in. So what would be your first target in business? What is your first target? What is the first thing you should be focusing on? Okay, here is what it is. I want you to write this word down. I want you to remember this word, and I'll give you some breakdowns of why this should be your first target in business. Your first target in business should be income. All that other stuff don't mean nothing. I want you to write that down. Prophet Ramon said, my first target in business. My first target in business. Now remember, this is a reflection of your personal life. This could be your professional life. This could be your ministry life. I don't care what area of life it is. It could be your financial life. I just want you to understand, no matter what you are doing in life, personally, no matter what you are doing in life professionally, no matter what you are doing in life ministerially, no matter what you're doing in life financially, it's all based on business. I know a lot of church people and ministry minded people don't want to hear that, but there's a business to your ministry. If you got a church, if you got a nonprofit organization, if you got a community-based program, if you got a CDC, a 501c3, a foundation, an association, a network, a reformation, a denomination, whatever it is that you have on a nonprofit 501c3 church charter type level, guess what? There's still a business to your ministry, because you got to have a bank account. You gotta write checks, or you have to pay payments. You have to process payments. If people are giving to your nonprofit, or if your church is receiving tithes and offerings, you have to take that money. You have to have transactions. You got to pay bills. You might have to pay staff. You might have to pay vendors. Even if you're not paying staff or vendors, guess what? If you have a church, guess what? You got to pay to have a space somewhere. Okay, well, we're virtual right now. Well, you got to pay for Zoom. You got to pay for internet access. In other words, there's some business activity connected to your ministry. Even if you have, even if you just have a personal life, you ain't got no business, you ain't got no job, you ain't got a pot to put it in or willing to throw it out. Well, guess what? You still have a business connected to your personal life. Your life is still centered around business. So I want you to understand, it doesn't matter what area of life you understand this first target to be in, there is an area that you need a target. And so money ain't everything, even though the Bible says money answers all things, but money is not everything. However, you live in an economic planet. All right? You live in an economic planet, which means most of the things that you do on a day-to-day basis is tied to income, which is tied to a business. Can we all agree on that today? All right. So your first target in business should be what? Income. So I need to be focusing on income. I don't need to be focusing on all this other stuff. And I'm going to explain to you why I'm saying this, okay? Because a lot of people who think about business, here is what they want to focus on. They want to focus on business plans. And a lot of people in their own personal life, they want to focus on financial plans. Now, I'm not going to say a business plan doesn't have its place. But when you think about a business plan, you shouldn't be thinking about 40 pages or 25 pages of information about what your projections are, what your market competition is, who's your perfect client, and all these other things that make up what you call a quote-unquote business plan. What your business plan should be centered around is income. Because I know a whole lot of people today that have business plans. They have packages that they have paid people or that they have taken a lot of time to put together. And so they focus on their website. They focus on their logo. They focus on their domain. They focus on getting the nice cards. They focus on getting uniforms. They focus on hiring a virtual assistant. They focus on all of these things, making sure that their Secretary of State paperwork is correct, and making sure that they got the right bank account, and making sure that their operating agreement is drafted right. All of those things are important with regard to what a general business plan may be. But none of that should trump income. None of that should trump income. Now, why is income senior to a general or typical business plan? Why is income senior to a general or typical financial plan? Why is income considered to be my first target? Well, here is why your income is considered to be your first target. And you may have heard me say this time and time before, but guess what? Until it becomes a reality, and until it becomes a part of your behavior patterns, until it becomes a part of the muscle that you build, it hasn't sunk in deep enough yet. So why is income my first target for my business? Why is income senior to a business plan or a financial plan? Why is income senior to all of the other things that people spend a whole lot of time doing when they're trying to create a business, when they're trying to create what they consider to be a financial situation for themselves? Here's why. Because income, please hear this, and you like, I think I need to put this on a shirt. Income, I'm gonna personalize it. Your income, I'm gonna make this big. Your income is your number one wealth building tool. This is why. This is why income needs to be senior to business plans. This is why income needs to be senior to all these other financial plans. This is why income needs to be senior to all the other targets that you set and all the other strategies that you're trying to implement, because your income is by far your number one wealth building tool. So if you are anticipating to put a plan together for your business, if you are anticipating to put a plan together for your finance, anticipating to put a plan together for your church, for your family, for your community organization, for your LLC, for whatever it is that you are doing in your personal, professional, ministerial, or financial life, when you are anticipating to put those types of plans together, they should all begin with what? They should all begin with income. They should all begin with income. Now, if income becomes your target, guess what you're going to start looking at? You're going to start looking at your fixed income, if that's what you have. You're going to start looking at your earned income, if that's what you're going to have, what you have. You're going to start looking at your business income, if that's what you have. You're going to start looking at your investment income, if that's what you have. There can be passive, which is some form of investment income. So whatever type of income it is that you have, if you know you want to have a business plan, if you know you want to have a financial plan, if you know you want to have a plan for your ministry or for your organization or for some future endeavor, if it all starts with income, now this becomes your base. My income becomes my base. So I have to start looking at where I am with regard to my income. I'm not looking at my job. Okay, I'm not looking at my job. This is what a lot of people do. A lot of people put this great plan together over here. They have a plan for their business. They put this nice plan together. They have a plan for their ministry. They have a plan for their career. They have a plan for their family. They put all these plans together. And I'm not saying these plans are wrong, but what I'm saying is if you put these plans together and those plans do not begin with the number one tool that you're going to use to fulfill those plans, which is your income, most likely, instead of you figuring out strategies here, you're going to be looking for shortcuts to get over here. Am I making sense? So there are certain strategies I have to have here because my income is senior to all of these other things. And if I do not create strategies with this, if I don't get control of this, if I don't figure out how to build a muscle to understand this, here's what's going to happen. You're going to find yourself trying to get over here and you're going to try to get shortcuts. So this is where a lot of people get into debt. This is where a lot of people end up getting loans that they can't afford. This is where people get tied up in trying to get their credit scores to help them do the work. And I'm not saying these cannot assist you, but what I'm saying is this should be senior to this and it should be senior to that, even if you're putting those together. This should be motivation. So I want to have a successful business. I want to have a thriving ministry or nonprofit. I want to pivot in my career. I want my family to be able to come and go as they please. But in order for me to get there without shortcutting it with this, I have to start here. I have to look at my income. So again, if you are on a fixed income, that's where you start. How much money you got coming in every month? How much money you got going out every month? This is how you have to start. Now, I have a 5-step millionaire plan that if you don't have access to it, I'm going to give you the link to get access to it for free. I'm giving it away. It's a free 5-step millionaire plan, and it's actually what you can use to help assist you in focusing on the main thing, which is your income. A lot of times when I say this, people think it sounds so elementary. Oh, I heard that before. Ramon, you repeating yourself. Yeah, but you ain't doing what I keep repeating because you focused on everything else except the main thing. So if you have a fixed income, you need to start with that. If you work a job, you need to start with that because there are certain strategies that you need to implement with the money here so that you can get to the result over there. Most people never make it to the result. Most people never get fulfilled. Most people never see the manifestation of what they're working hard for because they never get a grip of the main thing, which is their income. So if you want access to that 5-step millionaire plan, okay, if you want access to it, I want you to go to RamonPreston.com/free. I want you to go and get that. This is my personal playbook. One of the reasons why I'm starting to talk much more about my 5-step millionaire plan is because within the last year or so, I've realized that I've coached a lot of people, I've consulted a lot of people, I've trained and educated a lot of people, and the people who have literally lived by my business and financial philosophy are the people who are winning. Like, I do math, I do studies, I do research. Like, there's hardly nothing that I do. Almost everything that I do, not just in my personal life, but in my business life, almost everything that I do, I document and I document for duplication. So that means I'm always taking notes. I'm always looking at the track record of certain things. I'm always analyzing. I'm always resetting certain processes that I'm implementing, and I look to see, so I can easily go back a year or two and look at all of the people that have come through my business coaching, all of the people that have come through my personal mentorship, all of the people who have trained and studied and got educated on my online program. I can look to see where they are in terms of result, and I can track their progress to see what exactly did they do to get the results. Almost every person who is winning financially or in their business, these people, almost every person that's winning is a person who understood that in order for them to get results, they needed a step-by-step process, something that could guide them, engage them, even though they may have had a lot of things going on, but they had to figure out a step-by-step process to make the main thing the main thing. Because you could get so caught up in your products, you can get so caught up in your services, you can get so caught up in what you're doing in your personal life, you get so caught up in what you're doing in your church, you get so caught up in how your business is moving and how you're developing stuff and adding stuff and learning and training. You can get so caught up in that, you can lose focus on that. But the people who are getting results, and I'm talking about their lives are seeing monetary impacts. Their businesses are seeing revenue impacts. Their professional lives and careers are seeing financial impacts. These are the people who understood from the jump that the main thing that was senior to every other thing was their income. And if that's the case, this is why I don't always recommend for people to leave their jobs when they're starting a business. And the people who do that struggle. You know why? Because they do not have the right plan. All they got is a word from the Lord. At least they claim they do. Well, this is what God told me to do. And maybe he did. But he also gave you wisdom to put a plan with what he told you to do. So there are a lot of things God be telling me to do that I know gonna require faith. They're going to require me to step out. They're going to require me to really go hard. But guess what? I can't do those things in ignorance. I can't do those things oblivious to the laws that govern other areas of my life. I can't just keep going home every day telling my wife, the Lord told me to jump off a bridge. Then I go home the next day. The Lord told me to fly off the roof. Then I go home the next day. The Lord told me to, swim to the other side of the world. I mean, at a certain point, my wife is going to be like, honey, you're delirious. Something is really wrong with you. I'm not going to doubt that God ain't talking to you, but dog, bruh, when you going to put some plan to that prophecy? Think about that. So all you prophetic people that watch me, I want you to understand, I'm a prophet. I'm prophetic. I hear from the Lord too. But a lot of the prophecies that God gives me, they come with plans too. I want you to think about that. So when you use it as a lame excuse, oh, here's what God unctioned me to do, or here's what I feel the Lord is leading me to do. Yeah, but if God is leading you to do it, when you gonna get results? See, I'm gonna challenge you on that. Because you ain't finna blame God for everything and God don't never give you no results. Or maybe he gave you a word, maybe he gave you an unction, and he's requiring you to package that in a system that has processes that can complement a plan. This is about business. That's why the title of today's show is your first target in business. Because if you have a target in business and your target is correct, what's going to happen is your target is going to demand that you have the right systems, the right processes, and the right plan to complement that. So again, if you do not have access to my free 5-step millionaire plan, it is a 5-step millionaire plan. You can actually use this 5-step millionaire plan as a business plan. It can be a business plan. You can use it as a business plan. You can use it as a personal financial plan. If there's something you want to achieve. So for example, let's say if you want to achieve $100,000 this year. Of course, there are certain mathematical equations you're going to have to go through. That means you're going to have to look at your products. You're going to have to look at your product prices. And you're going to have to do the math and divide them up to see how many of your products at those prices do you need to sell in order to make $100,000 if that's what you want to do, let's say in 2022, right? But while you are working on those strategies and those solutions and those products and prices, and you're doing the mathematical calculations to figure out how many calls you need to make, how many emails you need to send out, how many text messages you got to send out, how many doors you got to knock on. While you're working all those mathematical equations out, guess what you still need? You still need a plan. You still need a step. You still need a plan. In other words, you need a step-by-step. Here's what you need: a step-by-step process to keep you on track. You need something to keep you moving in the right direction. Because over here, if you put this together and you say, oh, okay, I have, let's do the math on this. Let's just say if we want to make 100 grand and we want to make it by the end of the year. Okay, so let's say we got 9 months left. It's easy to do the math and say, okay, $100,000 divided into 9. So I need to make about $11,000 every month for the rest of the year, right? We understand that. If I divide 11,000 by 9, that would be, let me see, $11,000 a month divided by 4. So that would be about $27.50 a week. I just want to show you how this can be good, but it's not going to satisfy you understanding what your first target should be for business, and that is your income. Because I have to stay focused on my income. I cannot lose track on my income doing all this other stuff. So now we want to make $100,000 in 2022, for example. This is just an example. That means we got to make $11,000 a month for the next 9 months, and then we got to make $27.50 a week for 4 weeks every month in those 9 months. So now let's just assume you have a, hypothetically speaking, let's say if you have a $250 product. You might not have a $250 product. I'm just using as an example to show you, well, how many $250 products do I need to sell to get $100,000? Well, let me divide that. 100,000 into 250. That means I need to sell 400 products this year at 250 to make 100 grand. 400 divided into 9 months, I need to sell about 44 a month. 44 divided into 4, I need to sell 11 a week. So this is for the year, this is for the month, this is for the weeks in each month. So you can do the math on this number, whatever your business and financial plan is from a general perspective, or when you're typically doing the math on it. But over here, you still need something that you can use to track each step of the way. So just in case you don't sell 11 products this week, you still have something that can keep you moving forward. What if you do sell 11 this week? Well, you hit your target here, but you still had a main target for your business. First things first, if that makes sense. So I want you to get access to that 5-step millionaire plan, and I want you to use it as your general template for all other business plans, all other financial plans. Now, guess what? Let's say if you're someone that you're already moving at a pace to where you you have a little money coming in, your business is already working, well, just reset it. I still want you to get access to that. So go to RamonPreston.com. Especially because it's tax time, /free. So you finna get them income tax. It's gonna be easy for you to follow my 5-step millionaire plan. So So next time somebody asks you, do you have a business plan? Do you have a financial plan? When somebody asking you that, they're not thinking about this. They're probably thinking about 25 pages of just information about what your projections are and how do you see yourself in 2 years. And again, that plays a role, but we're talking about your first target in business. What is the first thing I need to be focused on? I need to be focused on my income. I need to be focused on increasing the dollar amount of money that I have coming in, and if not decreasing, stabilizing the dollar amount of money I have going out. So whatever money is going out as an expense, I want to at least stabilize it or decrease it, because I want to live on less than what I'm making. I want to live on less than what I'm making. I want to live on less than what I'm making. What do I need to do, Ramon? You need to live on less than what you're making. If you cannot live on less than what you're making, what do you have to do? Not sit around for 8 months and put a financial plan together. Not goof off for the next 4 months to put a business plan together. If you cannot live on less than what you're making, you need to focus your attention every day on income, period, point blank. So I want to decrease my expenses or stabilize them, but then I want to increase my income. I want to figure out strategies, ways that I can make this go up, and make this go down. That's what I want to do. And that spread in between is what's going to start giving me the wiggle room to build my business, the wiggle room to build my life, wiggle room to do the other things. So this 5-step millionaire plan shows you the process. It gives you a template that you can actually use. And the good thing about this 5-step millionaire plan is I give you breakdowns for each step. I give you course recommendations for each step. And if you have access to my Millionaire Blueprint, you can go back and rewatch those courses. As a matter of fact, right now, I'm encouraging all of my coaching clients, all of my Millionaire Mentorship Program members to go back to this Millionaire plan and work those 5 steps and stop focusing on all this other stuff that ain't making no doggone money. That's what I'm encouraging people to do. Because it just, like you cannot make it like that. You cannot survive like that. If all you're doing is just focusing on, man, I'm trying to get my products right. I'm trying to get my services right. I'm just trying to get, my value adds right. I'm trying to work on my marketing. I'm trying to get better at this and better at that. No, what we need to get better at is focusing on the number one wealth building tool. And that is income. Because guess what? You can have a job. You can have a job. You can have a job. And that job is creating income. Okay? And then you have a business, or maybe you got a ministry. I'm talking to church people too, so I got to add both of them together. You got a job, you got a business or a ministry, and it ain't making no income. It ain't making none. So which one at this point from an income perspective is more valuable? See, people don't like to have this conversation, especially Christians. I know this because we have so much confidence in God and we have so much faith in God, but we get blinded. We get blinded by the fact that you do not have to compromise your confidence and faith in God for what He has given you to do just because you want to maintain the integrity of what's primarily taking care of you right now. So the thing that you should be doing is staying focused on this, not eliminating this to get over here and struggle. Okay? Like, for example, when I started my business, or when I decided that I was going to be a full-time entrepreneur, I was willing to sacrifice certain luxuries, because I would have preferred to sacrifice luxuries and be over here than to not sacrifice them but stay over here. I was willing to make that decision. But here's what I want you to understand. When I made this decision, I wasn't married. It doesn't matter if you're married or not. It doesn't matter. But once me and my wife got married, I clearly communicated to my wife that I'm over here on this side. I'm not over here on this side. And because I'm over here, there are certain things I know I'm going to have to give up. So because we communicated, guess what we did? We were able to plan accordingly. We were able to plan accordingly. So because I was willing to sacrifice these things, like, I want you to really hear me on this, because I was willing to sacrifice these things, because let me clear the board and just make it real nice for you. So we got job, and then we got business. Come on through here. Business or ministry. I want to show you this so you can catch this. So, because I communicated to my wife that I did not want to be over here, even though I knew this would bring us a certain level of income stability, all right? I wanted to be over here, but it created income instability. So my wife and I, we talked, and guess what we did? We put a plan together. We put a plan. But the plan, or let me go back to my title, the first target in our business, because we decided this is what we're going to do. The first target was income. This was the first target. So we knew we had to keep our eyes. Do you hear me? Come closer. Come on. We had to keep our eyes on this. Because we got rent to pay, we got car notes, we got utilities, we got to eat, we got miscellaneous, we got kids, we had responsibilities. We got to pay our tithes, we got to give to the church. We had a lot of things that we're doing, and we got to finance what we want to do over here. So our plan had to be directly connected to income. So because I wanted to sacrifice stability over here, because I wanted the freedom over here, but it wasn't really producing a whole lot of money, I had to give up something to maintain the integrity of this. So guess what I had to give up? I had to give up having a car, because we just couldn't afford 2 cars. So I had to give up one. When I first started over here, I didn't even have a cell phone. I had a prepaid phone. I would pay $25 and get a prepaid card. See, some of y'all don't want to make them sacrifices. That's why you're struggling, because you want what you want. But you want the stability of a job, but you want to be over here to be free, but you won't get your behind up before the sun come up every day and do what you got to do. And you're not willing to compromise here because you don't have the right target in your business. Am I making sense? I know I'm stepping on your corns, but you better catch it. Because if you want to get where you want to go, you got to figure this out. So if your first target is income, you can't be letting all your income go out when you know you over here and ain't got nothing coming in. You got to make some sacrifices. You got to make some compromises. So guess what I had to eat, figuratively speaking? I had to eat doo-doo. That's what I had to eat here. I had to eat dirt. I had to grind. I had to sacrifice. I had to give up a whole lot of luxuries because I knew if I want luxury, if I don't want to eat doo-doo and dirt every day, figuratively speaking, meaning that I'm not able to do anything I want to do because I'm just making it work to be free to build my business. If I don't want that, if I can't make that happen, then I need to get back over here and do what everybody else does. Now, if you're over here and you're already generating a certain level of income, I'm telling you, you should focus on these things before you jump over here and you don't have any income. Because you're working backwards. So even if God is saying, okay, do this, okay, but what else is God is saying? So the only thing God told you to do is just leave your job. That's it. Yeah, that's all he told me. So it's nothing else that you do to follow up from that. Now you're being naive in your thinking because now you want to blame God. Don't do that. And even if you ain't blaming God, even if you just like, listen, I'm sick of this. I don't want this no more. Well, you still need to be an adult and assume the fiduciary responsibility for your life and other areas of your life to say, I got to have a better target because my target is off because I'm not seeing the results. So I know you might feel like, Ramon, it's easy for you to say now because look at where you at. You're wrong. You're wrong if you're saying that. If you like, you can just stand up there and talk all that junk and it's easy for you to say you ain't in my situation. I've been in your situation. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to scrap. Me and my wife, we scrapped and struggled for years, but we had our targets and we knew that the most important thing was our income, and we knew we needed to live on less than what we had coming in. We knew we had income here, we had expenses, and because we were in this category of business and ministry, we were over there. We were not over here in the category of a job that may have had a level of financial stability. We knew we had to keep those expenses down while we tried to keep that up, because that gap in between was what we were going to have as cash flow to be able to build a life for ourselves. Did it always work like this? No. There were seasons that we had more going out than we had coming in, which means we didn't have cash flow, which means we didn't have stability, and which means we was over here struggling and we had to pull and scratch and scrap. But once we reprioritized our targets and we understood that we gotta focus on the main thing, we gotta make the main thing the main thing. Once we reset that and we started refocusing on that, guess what happened? We started implementing certain strategies. So for those of you that already have access to that Millionaire plan, that 5-step plan, I want you to just go back through it, reread it, and understand that when you walk through that one free module, you are walking through what I had to walk through in my mind even before I had those things. I wish you could feel what you probably will if you're in that situation. But the feeling I felt when I first sat down and said, man, I got to figure this out. I didn't have no millionaire blueprint. I didn't have 5 steps. I didn't have all this information I'm sharing with you. I didn't have a plan. All I had was like just this desperation that, man, I'm just tired of struggling. I'm tired of coming up short. I'm tired of being on this, what do you call it? Like this hamster wheel. And I had to make a decision. And that's when I started the process. And I remember when I said the first thing I want to do is just save $1,000. Let me see if I can save 1,000. That's step 1, by the way. That was the first step. I was like, you know what? And I didn't know at the time it was going to be my 5 steps. But step one, I was like, man, I just need to save. Let me see if I can save 1,000 and not go back. And I remember when I first saved my first 1,000. Matter of fact, the first 1,000 I saved, it was, I don't remember, it was either all 20s or all hundreds. And it was folded up. It was like the first grand. I was like, man, I wish I had, like, you know how you look at like 1,000 and you say, man, I wish I could turn this into like 400 of these. I wish I had this like 400 times over. My life would be different. But I realized that I wasn't going to get 400 of those or 4,000 of those or 400,000 or 40 of those if I didn't change the way I thought towards what is my wealth building tool. And so I had to say that. My next step was to pay off all consumer debt, right? And I remember I had to go through that process. This is step two. This is step two. I had to go through each of those steps, pay off all consumer debt. I remember when me and my wife, we sat down, we paid for a report. We got one of those thick reports of both of our credit reports and everything we owed and ever owed. And we just started calling creditors, calling, what do you call them? Collection agencies for any things that were past due and already gone. We started calling credit card companies that were still open. We just went crazy. We had a separate account that we just put the money in there, and we was like, I remember the first amount of money we put in there, we probably, and you talking about, man, I had probably about $100,000 in credit card debt, just credit cards alone. But I remember we put the first amount of money we put in there, it might have been about 30 or 40 grand, probably a little more. But I remember we put that money in there and we was like, let's see how many we can get paid off with this. And everybody got their own strategy. I know it's a lot of credit gurus and people who dispute and do their thing. Hey, you do what you do. I'm telling you what I did, all right? You do whatever you got to do. I wanted to pay it off. And I wanted to go and get it out the way because I wasn't focused on disputing. I was focused on income. Just for those of you who want to hate on me saying that, oh, he's stupid. He paid all that money to pay his credit cards off. Well, you ain't got no money. Because you around here so focused on disputing, you ain't focusing on getting income. Anyway, back to my point, I paid it off, okay? Then I started saving 6 to 12 months of total expenses, total household expenses, right? So that's step 3. So now that I paid off all my credit card debt, guess what I had more control over? Income that was being consumed. So now I could take that income that was being consumed and I can start stacking it on top of that 1,000 so that I can put myself in a position to have 6 to 12 months. And let me tell you something, just in case you don't know, I'm gonna end with this, but just in case you don't know, the biggest thing this gives you when you put 6 to 12 months of your total household expenses, and again, if you're a W-2 employee, it may be 6. If you're 1099, it may be 9. But if you got a business or a church or a ministry and you're the final leader and decision maker, you want to try to put a year up to cover your personal salary or your business, your ministry, and your household. You want to cover that for a year. The biggest benefit you're going to get from step 3 is not just having 12 months worth of total income saved or total expenses saved. The biggest thing you're going to get over here is peace. That's what you're paying for right here. Just in case you don't know, you're paying for a peace of mind right here. Because when you can wake up and know if nothing happens for the next year, you at least going to keep what you got. That's peace there. That's called peace. All right. And then once we did that, we started living by the 40% rule. That means we took 40%. Of course, when you get paid 100%, we taking 90, we taking 10% and we paying our tithes. So we taking 40% of our gross, which means we really living off 50% of our income minimum. And my wife, she's a big giver, so she gives probably 20% of her income. But let's just say for this scenario, you take 40% of all the income you got coming in and you live off the 60, right? So you live off 60. That's step 4. I guarantee you this is going to be the hardest step for you, because me and my wife, it took us a couple of years to get to a point to where we had enough. Because in order for you to, let me just say this, in order for you to live by the 40% rule, guess what you're going to realize you're going to have to do? In order for you to live by the 40% rule, you're going to have to increase, guess what? Income. You're going to need more income, because you're going to realize, man, I only make $2,000 a month. I only make $4,000 a month. I only make $6,000 a month. I can't take 40% of that and put it up. It's not that you can't, it's just that you got to increase so it's back to income. And then the fifth step, step five is getting wealthy, being a blessing, and building a legacy. Now, how are you going to get wealthy, be a blessing, and build a legacy? This is where a lot of the conversations that I have with my clients, this is where making sure your holding company is set up, making sure you know how to diversify within your holding company, making sure you know how to develop other income producing asset opportunities, making sure you got your wills and your insurance and your trust and all this stuff that happens in step 5. But those are the 5 steps, and I'm giving you access to it. So I want you to go to RamonPreston.com/free if you want access to the free 5-step millionaire plan. Now, if you would like to have full access to our millionaire blueprint, which comes with not just the manual, but it comes with the courses that you can take in order to get through each 5, so you can learn about financial literacy, entrepreneurship, business ownership, investing, and wealth building. All you have to do is text the word millionaire to me right now, and I will get you signed on to our millionaire blueprint. Maybe you would like to be a part of my millionaire mentorship program, so that not only do you have access to my training program, but you can also have access to me and my team, so that we can coach you, mentor you, consult you, and help you build your life out, not just with those 5 steps, but build your life out with your business, with your ministry, and even with your investments. So you could text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213. That's if you would like to join our millionaire mentorship program or have access to our full millionaire blueprint, which comes with our 5-step millionaire plan. The 5-step millionaire plan is just one of the 30 plus courses we have available on that millionaire blueprint. And we have documents, we have forms, we have tutorials. We teach you, we educate you, we really train you on how to properly start, structure, and scale your income streams, your businesses, your ministries, and your wealth building dreams. For those of you that have stayed on the show from the beginning, when I talked about licensing and I talked about certification, we talked about our licensing program, we talked about our certification, we talked about our millionaire blueprint groups. If you're interested in being a part of any of these programs, our licensing program, so that you could be authorized to resell and repurpose any material or programs we have. If you're interested in our licensing, we added the certification to it. So if you are a licensee, you are automatically getting training to become a certified coach and a consultant. But then we have our millionaire blueprint groups for churches and nonprofits. If you're interested in any of those, all you need to do is just reach out to me. Call this number right here. Just call me. Call me today. My team and I, we're here right now, and we're ready to talk with you. I'm getting ready to end this live on today, Thursday, March the 3rd. We're still here in the office, with the exception of maybe going away for lunch for a few minutes, but we'll be here. All you have to do is text millionaire to that number, or call that number if you want to speak to me about our licensing, our certification, or our millionaire blueprint groups. I hope you enjoyed today's show. I hope you learned something. And if there's anything we could do to help you, feel free to reach out to your boy right here. at Ramon Preston Enterprises. Love all of you, appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow, same place, same time, 12 o'clock noon Eastern, right here on the Ramon